All right. Today's as you know, today's Sabbath service, the ISUPK. Started on 1 West 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Today's the Sabbath service class. Today I'm a police officer of 50 Resign. I'll be teaching it today. Today, what we're going over is for the top of today's class is a perpetual hatred, right? And that's stemming from who has this hatred for us. What does that perpetual hatred means? And we give examples of that reward for that perpetual hatred today. We're going to just be showing that these people who hate us are still here. They didn't go away. We're under them right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're in captivity, even if you think because you can get fancy cars, iced out diamond chains and all that. Don't make it think that you're not in captivity, because you are. And that captivity is part of the hatred for you. We're going deep into that today, and we'll be in chapter, be in Ezekiel 35 today. All right, so gonna get started. So just brother, imagine stand, and we'll be getting into the Lord's Prayer. So imagine while putting your down, stand and face the east. All right, so getting first in the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Taba'ah, Batazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanyanawa, Lakan, Ka, Wayam, Wasalakinawa, Kabawatinawa, Kasalakinawa, Kabawatinawa, Wala'ah, Tabayana, Banasaya 1, Abal, Wahashaynawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwat, Wa'ala, Wata'aparat, La'aiwalani, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right, the Hakat, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shah, Baba Kasha, Nathanyanawa, Hakat, Rapa'ah, Ka, Malachi, Ka, Madawa, Hakat, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, Lakwayim, Hamathim, Hakat, Arakafwa, Hatama'ala, Lagarashan, Bahashan, Yahweh, the water of man. The power in English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. All right. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha'ah. Ayan. It's like Ayanya. Al-Haharyim. Ma'ayan. Yaba'ah. Isaiah. Ma'ayin. Yahweh. Asha. Shamayim. Wa'arataza. Al-Yatan. Lamawat. Ragakla. Yanawam. Shamarka. Hanat. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashan. Shawamar. Yasharala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazakah. Tazak. Al-Yat. Yamyaka. Wayamam. That's like Wayamam. Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Barak,
Barak,
Bala,
Bala,
Yalah,
Yalah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makal Rai,
Makal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Atnapashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Tazaatka,
Tazaatka,
Baba Awaka,
Baba Waka,
Maitha,
Maitha,
Wa'ai,
I will
Iwalam.
love.
Psalms 121 in English. I lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help cometh from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
Who will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall not neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in,
from this time forth,
from this time forth
even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
All right, Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Adam Yalaka,
Adam Yelakah,
Al-Thakarash,
Al Thakarash,
Ba'al,
Ba'al,
Dashakwat,
Dashakwat,
Al,
Al,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Hana,
Hana,
Al-Yabyaka,
Awayabika,
Yahama,
Yahama,
Yawan,
Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Imaka,
Al Amuka,
Ya'ai,
Ya'ai,
Rayawan, Wayamba, Sawada,
Sawadah,
Wayata,
Wayatha,
Ya'itazawa,
Ya'itazawa,
Al-Tazbawanyaka,
Al Tazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Bakawa,
Bakawa,
Wanakakidan,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashra'ala,
Sham Yasra'ala,
Iwada,
Awudah,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Noah Itazawa,
Nawaitazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Yakatwa,
Yakatwa,
Al Yaka,
Al Yaka,
Baryak,
Baryat,
Yaka,
Yaka,
Brathwa,
Rathwa,
Ahaya,
Ahalia,
Awadam,
Awudam,
Wa Yashma Alim,
Wayashama Ali,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagarshan.
Wahagarshan,
It's like Wahagarium,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'imawan,
Wa'imawan,
Wa'imalat,
Wa'imalat,
Palashat,
Palashat,
I'm Yashabim,
Yashabya,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gum Ashawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarawai,
Zarai. It's like Kayebian.
Kayabya,
It's like Labunya,
Labunya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadya,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayebian,
Kayabya,
Banakal,
Manakal,
Yakashwan, Nashmadwa,
Nashamaka,
Bayan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Dara,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
Adama, Adama, Shatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
Ka'arat,
Kara,
Wakata Za'aba,
Wakatazab,
Wakata Zabak,
Wakatazab,
Wakata Zal,
Wakatazab,
Mana'ai,
Manai,
Call.
Kal,
That's it's like Nayasa,
Nayasa,
Yankawa,
Yankawa,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Nayarasha,
Nayarasha,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ah,
Ah,
Na'awa,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
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 Shatamwa,
Shayatamwa,
Kagagala,
Kagala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya,
Lapanya,
Raka,
Raka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Tabaira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wa, Kalaba,
Kalaba,
Tahalat,
Dahala,
Hawayam,
Ariyam,
Khan,
Kan,
Thoradatma,
Baradapma,
Basa Iraka,
Basa Iraka,
Babasa,
Wabasa,
Wapaska,
Wapatka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'a,
Wala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwa'alan,
Walawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakoshwa,
Wakashwa,
Shimka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Wahawa,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abatwa,
Abad,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'awa,
Dawa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Shimka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labatkin,
Labak,
All Your One,
All Your One,
All Call,
Call,
Ha Ratazan.
Ratazan.
All right, good. Psalms 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, keep not thy silence,
Keep not thy silence,
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
The name of Israel
that the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance,
may be no more remembered.
for they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee,
tabernacles of Edom,
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also are joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
That hope in the children of Lot,
They have opened the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah,
do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zeeb,
and like Zeeb.
yea,
Yea,
of the princes of Sabah,
all their princes as Sabbath,
and as Zamunah,
and as Amunah,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves
Let us take to ourselves
the houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
and as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth.
All right, Sheldon, seated. Bless slide. Right here. Blessed in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Maki Allah?
Why Yahweh?
Why Allah? Why Allah?
Why
Matazab Yah.
Matazab Yah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawapyum.
Alawapyum.
Ha Saranyum.
Asaranyum.
Hakatazah Yalyum.
Akasazayanyum.
Hakakayalyum.
Akayayalyum.
Waha Wakyum.
Wahagwakyum.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Bashim Yahweh Shai.
The water Aman.
Tawaramah.
I get the blessings in English. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angel.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The generals.
The general.
The captains.
The captain.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
Thank you. So be it.
All right. I shove you. You can be seated. It's out of here. Yeah, I'm good. But yeah, so like I said, today's class is like it's called Perpetual Hatred, going over the hatred that that the so-called white man has for us. So we're going to be today in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get that in Hebrew real quick. Wayaya, Dabar, Yahweh, Yah, La Amar, Bun, Adam, Shayam, Panyaka, Al, Har, Shayar, Wahana, it's like Wahana, Al Yawa, verse 2, verse 3. What Amar, what Amarath, Lawa, Ka, Amar, Adunya, Yahweh, Halaya, Al, Al Yaka, Har, Shayar. But when a not slacking. When a taya yat al yaka when not thought yaka mama shama ma wama shama verse 4 our yaka karaba ashayam wa ata shamama tahaya wa yada ita kaya anya Yahweh verse 5 Ya'ain Hayawat Laka Ayabath Iwalam Atagar Watagar Ath Banya Yasharala Al Yadya Karab Ba'aita Ayadam Ba'ita Iwan Quataza verse 6 Lakan Kaya Anya Na'an Adanya Yahweh Kaya Ladam it's like Ka Wadam where you're right Ka An La'a Dam Shana'at Wadam you're right your adopt Ka verse 7 when I thought Ath Har Shayar Lasha Mama Wad Shama Waha Karathya Karat Slaki Waha Karthaya my mom Nawa Ibad it's like Ibar was shop. So that's the first 7 verses in the Hebrew for Ezekiel 35. All right, I'm gonna break it down in English. So, book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 1 in English. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. So, if you know, when the Lord calls a nation by name, He has multiple names for the same nation. You know what I mean? Like if you see Mount Seir, that's always talking about the so-called white man. It's always talking about Edom, right? Because that's the area in which they dwelled in. You look on the map right now, or you look in the map where Edom was said to be. The land was they dwelt in those mountainous in those caves over there, in a mount called Seir. So that's where it hailed from. So when they say that when they say that that Edom has already been erased, that's a lie. That's made up. That's to further hide the truth from you. I mean, because they don't want the information to get out that they are the people who days it is that's coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bible says, he knows he has but a little time. So he's gonna do whatever he can in a small amount of time to make as much trouble as he can. Right. So this is the Lord is telling Ezekiel right now is to face Mount Seir. You're gonna prophesy against it. You're gonna tell it what's gonna become of them. All right, I'm gonna continue. All right, let's read to verse 3.
The book of Ezekiel Chapter 35 and verse 3. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
So that's where he's at right now. That's what prophecy. That's what he was to prophesy against Mount Seir. That Most High is going to be against him. He's going to stretch out his hand against him. He's going to be desolate. And desolate means to be wasted away. That he's not going to have anything else after a while. And like people are going to see him, and they're going to wonder like, did this person actually exist? Because that's how I thought he's going to be. That's the same thing they do with Israel right now. Like there's always the fight, right? That like who is the real Israelites? Because a lot of people say it's that so-called Jewish man, right? That so-called white man. They say it's him, but then if they say it's him, that's for sure. The whites are always in question because the world knows that that's not him. The world knows that's not him. So just as we are unable no more remembrance, it's going to be the same way for him as well. Keep going, sir.
Verse 4. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
All right, so that right there, going back to verse 5, that's what this whole class is about. I'm saying that perpetual hatred, right? That perpetual means ongoing, forever. So this man has had an ongoing hatred for us, and we're going to get to the bottom today of why that hatred is. We're going to figure out today why he has a perpetual hatred against us. Why is it that he does what he does against us, right? And then also it says that at a time where our calamity had an end, which means that we're supposed to be punished for a time for going against the Most High. Because if you've read the Bible, especially in the book of Judges, we fall off, we get saved again, we fall off for a little bit of time, then we fall off again. It's a continuous cycle with Israel of falling off. So as we get punished, our punishment is supposed to have an end, but this beast, he don't have the concept of mercy. I mean, he don't have the concept of letting off. You know what I'm saying? Because if he did, our neighborhoods would be better. They wouldn't be filled with drugs. They wouldn't be a liquor store on every corner. Not saying that's in the wrong liquor, but if all you're doing is drinking, then what are you doing? Nothing with your life. If all you're doing is smoking and getting high, doing whatever drug, you're not doing anything. And you use these things to put you in a docile state to make you unaware of what else is going on. And then he'll fill you with lies that we're all created equal. If that's the case, then I should also have $1 million. I should better go buy land easily and raise up the wealth for my family. But the truth of the matter is, he's going to make it hard for you. He's going to have every red tape set in front of you so that you just can't buy land and then create what you want in this place. Right? And then it said right here, and as a blood, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Right? Because he didn't hate blood. Like The reason I had this class for today is because what happened last weekend, with the in Buffalo. You know what I mean? When that white boy, I'm not gonna say, but that was a man. That was a man decision he made to go there and kill 10 of our people. That he went to a neighborhood where he knew that they were older, where he knew the gun laws were strict, where he knew the people who would fight back wouldn't be there. And the people that were killed were what, 50 and up? I think only the youngest being what, 32? Because he didn't hate blood at the time. He loved it. You know what I'm saying? He loved what he loved what he went and did. Just like Dylan Roof did. Just like what's the chick name that killed Botham John? Amber Geiger. Just like she didn't care either. You know what I'm saying? That they love the blood. So that's why the Most High said, blood will pursue you. So time is coming where the tables will be flipped. Then they'll have to deal with the blood. They'll deal with their people's blood being shed. And when that time comes, they're gonna look surprised. They're like, why is this so? Why is this happening to us? As if they didn't, come here in nearly genocide the Native Americans. And they didn't come here and steal this land right now. Like Arizona's supposed to be Mexico. You know what I'm saying? California, parts of Texas, this all supposed to be Mexico, and they came and stole it. And the people don't know, but they hung Mexicans. They hung Mexicans. They lynched them. But they'll never tell you that part of history. But they loved it. They got pictures of them doing it, pictures of them smiling in it. And it's like people think that the racists are the people, that are the rednecks in the country, with the overall with the one strap on, they yeehawing with the guns and everything like that. Those people in those pictures are people in suits. people who dress for people who you wouldn't look twice about, because in this kingdom, white man in a suit is somebody you can trust. But according to any picture that you see of the hangings, it's always somebody in a suit. They're in a suit, that their daughters are in dresses, and they're all right there smiling. Because they didn't hate blood. They don't hate blood. They love it. They love war. They love picking on the weak. They love picking on people who can't defend themselves, which is us. We can't defend ourselves. If you think being a gangster, you think you can just start a war with the USA? Are you crazy? I mean, they got tanks, guns, drones. Listen, they don't have to touch you. You see, they don't have to enter the city if they don't want to. They send a drone, drop bombs on you, and that be it. I mean, they do it all the time over there in the Middle East. They do it all the time in Africa. And saying like being as I was in Esau's Navy, I know we have planes that just send up, that they'll scout the area, come back, and then they send a drone. And the drone would take care of it from there. Like really, they don't have to put their people in danger if they don't want to. Right? If you can, sir, get the last verse.
Ezekiel Chapter 35, verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth.
All right, fine. So, what we just got right here in this chapter, right, is that he has perpetual hatred for us, and his reward for that perpetual hatred is him to become most desolate. But we got to figure out, why is that so? Why does he hate us? Right. So to get that answer first, we're gonna go to Genesis 25. Right. We're gonna get the backdrop of who Mount Seir is. Right. Who he is, and why he hates Israel so much. Right. So we're gonna start at Genesis 25 and 23. And just to give a backdrop, this is when Rachel was I believe it was a Rachel, Rebecca. This Rebecca was at the time, she was pregnant with Jacob and Esau, and she was having pangs in her womb, and she wondered why. You can read verse 23.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So right there off the bat, the Most High letting her know that in your womb are 2 different people. So before we even born, Most High already put a separation between these kids. They are not the same people, even though they came from the same woman, from the same father. They are not the same people. He already put a separation between them already. Keep going.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Right. So what we see right now is that Most High said that the elder is supposed to serve the younger. So we're going to find out who's older and who's younger. Keep going.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. Right. So
the elder is named Esau. That's the firstborn of these twins to come out. So as 23 said, the elder is supposed to serve the younger. Keep going.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
All right, come on. So Jacob is the younger. Jacob is the younger brother. And if you pay attention, right, they described what Esau looked like a hairy garment that was covered. He was a red, like a hairy garment. So why would they go into detail about what Esau looked like, but not what Jacob looked like? Because Jacob looked like everybody else that was around. It's just like, for example, I have a cousin that's albino. When he was born, you probably say, "Oh, he was very pale white," but you wouldn't describe me when I was born because I look like the rest of the family. Same thing here. Esau was born. He didn't look like everybody else. He didn't look like his mother and father, feature wise, skin tone wise. But his brother did. So there was no reason to describe what he looked like, right? And it's also said that Jacob being a younger. So Esau is supposed to serve Jacob according to prophecy. That's what's supposed to be what happened. But we see in the day's time, we don't Esau don't serve us. We serve him. When you go work your 9 to 5, whatever job that you have, you're serving him because you're making his empire better. You're making his empire great. His empire is only great because we've been in service to him. According to prophecy, that's not supposed to be. Right. He's supposed to serve us, and we'll get into that. We'll get into it later. Let's say when those roles would change, what his reward would be. But keep going. 27.
Verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
Right. So this giving you some characteristics of what Esau is like. He's a hunter, a cunning one at that. Right. But what is white people's favorite thing to do besides it's hunting? I've known many white people over the years, and their favorite thing to do is to hunt. Whether it's just going out killing a deer, sitting on a lake somewhere fishing out in the middle of the lake, like it's hunting, and they are the most crafty people who will smile in your face, and make you feel like everything's okay, and then turn around and shoot you in your back. That's exactly what happened with like Buffalo is a clear example of him being a cunning hunter. He staked out the place. He did research on there. That's not insanity. That's not him being insane. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was being cunning. He went there and sweet talked to people and had conversations with them. Then the next day he goes up there and kills 10 of them because he hates us. For what? For basically just being black people. We ain't never did that to the white man for them to hate us, right? At least not recently. I never went to a neighborhood and just killed 10 white people for no reason. We don't do that. That's not our ways. Those are his ways. Him going up there and scouting the area, that's hunting. When you go hunt in real life, you're going to scout the good areas. You're going to check those animals' movements. That's what it says.
Yeah, what's crazy about that is I was just reading a report. That white boy that shot up that store in Buffalo, he had been going to the store for 2 months, multiple times a week, just to go and see and make sure that was the store he wanted to go to, because he wanted to go to the store with the most, highly concentrated population of black people. And so the store manager said that she had seen him repeatedly over the last 2 months coming in and openly saying the word nigger and things like that. And just to your point, it's heavy that you said that because that's exactly what he was doing. He was hunting. He scouted the area, made sure that's the place that he wanted to go, and that's when he went, fulfill his deed.
Sir. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's why that's a good description. He's a cunning hunter, a man of the field, right? Want to keep going?
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Which means Jacob, you know what I'm saying? If you know black people, a lot of times we can just be good doing nothing sometimes. just chilling. I'm saying you get a deck of cards and you get a deck of cards, you and your boys are good for the whole day. You know what I mean? We don't have to go out, we don't have to go out and do extreme things like like I even like to go out and jump out of airplanes for fun. You know what I mean? Black folks, we just like look at that like I'm not jumping out of an airplane. Like why do I put my life in danger like that? But the white man, that's how he is. That's how Jacob. That's how you know who they are by this characteristic. While white man is like cunning hunter, you know what I'm saying, a man of the field who he just does extreme things. Jacobs is a plain man. He better off just chilling somewhere, mind his business. But keep going from me out. Jump down to 29.
Okay. Verse 29. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. He was
tired. This man was hungry. He feel like he about to die right now. Like he gonna faint. From the heat. Like what I'm saying. Like he been out busy. He been out in the field all day. Doing whatever. I'm starving. I'm not gonna make it. That's him right now. Keep going.
Verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore,
that's saying that red pottage. The meat wasn't fully cooked. It was just started. You know what I mean? It's probably the most likely still have blood in it. Keep going.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Right. So here's where we get to, right? Esau comes from the field. He's more than likely being over dramatic, right? He probably ain't that tight. He probably ain't gonna fake that badly. He probably waited about a few minutes for the meal to fully cook. But because he's in such haste, right? He's man, it's like, brother, like I'm about to die out here from being out in that field all day. And Jacob saying, all right, cool. Now, if you don't know, in the Israelite culture, the eldest son is the son that receives the birthright, right? That receives the birthright, the blessings. Like each son get a blessing, but the eldest son gets the birthright. That means he gets the money, the lot of land, whatever. He's the one that when the father passes away, that takes over, and like now that's when everybody comes to in the family. So Esau being the older, that's supposed to be his. But Jacob said, all right, you dying, you need food that bad. Just go ahead and sell your birthright. Right? And that's all, you know what I'm saying? You figure that's a huge deal, the birthright. You know what I'm saying? Jacob was like, all right, you feeling that bad? Go ahead and sell that to me. Keep going.
Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die.
Ah, man, I'm about to die out here, man. Listen, I'm about to die. I need food badly. Keep going.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
What is this birthright going to do for me right now? I am hungry. I am starving. I am going to die of hunger. So this birthright means nothing to me right now. Keep going.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
And he sold his birthright to Jacob for some uncooked meat. That's how little his birthright meant to him. That he was at a point where he felt like he just couldn't wait a little bit for the meal to be done and eat. He was at a point to die. Now, if you ever look at the so-called white man, the pressure, I don't know what's not going to get us banned by whatever word they want to put up for us now that restrict us to. But yeah, if you look at the white people today, like, you got a question?
So I'm confused. So Jacob is the bad one and Esau is the good one?
No, so Jacob would be us, right? We have the descendants of Jacob. Esau would be the so-called white man.
Okay, so Jacob is the one that didn't want to give Esau nothing.
No, it's not he didn't want to give him nothing, but because Esau was making such a big deal out of being hungry,
Okay.
he's basically said, "All right, just you so hungry, sell me your birthright." You know what I'm saying? It's like you came to me, right? And I was like, I'm starving. I'm starving. I'm gonna die. All right, man. Like, how much you got in your account? I got $1,000 left. But you hungry, right? Just give me that $1,000 that you got left. Well, I'm hungry. I know what $1,000 is gonna do for me, and they just hand it off to you.
Okay.
Kind of like Jacob used this as an opportunity to get the birthright because, like you said earlier, the oldest son would be the one, and the firstborn son would be the one that would receive the birthright. The birthright includes everything. You understand that? You get the inheritance from your father, so everything that your father owns gets passed down to you. So Jacob saw this as an opportunity to get that birthright. And I think a lot of people, like, sometimes they'll try to say, well, Jacob stole the birthright. So they try to paint Jacob in a bad light because he used this opportunity. But we just saw in verse 31, it says that Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Esau willingly said, listen, I will give you my birthright as payment for this food because I feel like I'm going to die, which is ridiculous because he wasn't starving. He'd have been all right. That just shows you how weak our person is. So, like, go ahead.
So yeah, I was getting to just how weak they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, this whole pandemic, right? They were told, wear a mask because you don't want to get people sick. Like, because this virus that was going around was just taking people out. You know what I'm saying? Hospitals were being filled up to a point where they couldn't take any more people in. You know what I'm saying? And because they don't want to be told what to do because they're so weak-minded, I feel like Dave Chappelle put it the best. He says, like, white people have a brittle spirit. Like, you know what I'm saying? When they face any type of adversity, they fold. That's why you can hear about a white man losing his job. He go shoot the job up. As if you just can't go get another one. Or they'll lose a high-paying job and they'll do themselves in. As if you can't go get another job. We lose jobs all the time. I mean, I was jobless for about 2 months. So I'm still here. You know what I mean?
Esau ain't never had sleep for dinner. he never had to wake up. He never had to go to sleep hungry, wake up hungry, can't eat nothing at the crib. Gotta wait till school lunch. And then what you think them same kids is doing on Saturdays and Sundays when they go to school? So Esau done had the same thing. That's why the Most High was heavy. The Most High separated us in the womb and made a very clear distinction between us because he couldn't handle the things that we can handle. Right. After one day of hunting in the field, he sell his birthright for a pot of uncooked food or uncooked meat. Here we are in America, slaving day in and day out, eating, maybe once a day. After working in the hot sun for our oppressor. It's just ridiculous.
That's what say.
If I could, sir, and I'd like just to go back to what we just read in 27, where it said, like, Esau was a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. It just goes to show you how much of a lie it is that the oppressor tells when they say that they civilized the world. Well, because the scriptures say that we dwelled in places, they were in fields. So that just speaks to we're actually more civil. And if you just pay attention to history and current events, it's not really that hard to see.
No, it's not. It's really not. We can. It's a give me a 33.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, And he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
So you see that? He gave it up willingly because he was hungry. He sold it. But here's what you'll find out about Esau, right? Esau is not a man of his word. Not by any stretch of the means. On this day, he sold Jacob, his brother, the birthright because he was so hungry. Do you honestly think he kept that? Like his side of the things? No, he didn't. He didn't keep his side. If you look at the white man today, what they said, he made about 500 treaties with the natives, and he broke all 500. that is a what they say that white man is a snake. He speaks with forked tongue. Like this man is a liar and a deceiver.
Right.
And that's why we say he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right. Because he's a liar. Like right now, as you see, Esau sold Jacob his birthright. He sold it, which means that he should have no. It means that he no longer has any claim to that birthright anymore.
Right.
But later on, Isaac, right, their father, he's on his deathbed. If you can get me to 27, chapter 27,
Yes, sir.
and go to 41. But on this day, right, so Isaac is on his deathbed. And so Esau, he's gonna come, right? Because he wants his birthright. Because he's supposed to get it because he's the oldest, but he sold it. But Rebecca, having a vision for the Most High, she knows that should go to Isaac. Plus, she loved Isaac. I mean, Isaac, but Jacob. She loved Jacob, while Isaac loved Esau. So Isaac probably not being aware that Esau sold his birthright off. But Esau's not going to be a man and not say that, no, that goes to my little brother now. He's not going to do it. He still wants what's supposed to be his, but he sold it off already. And so to make sure that Jacob got the birthright, Rebecca had Jacob cover himself in fur, and she's fur to mimic Esau's hairy arm. And because at this point, Isaac is blind. He's old. He's blind. He's on the deathbed. He don't know. And so he goes in, he does it. He receives the birthright. Esau comes in there later. If you can, let me just make sure real quick.
Yes, sir. You say 27, 21?
You know what? No, we start a little bit above that. No, start at 37 for me.
37, sir?
Come.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants.
So this is Isaac already telling Esau, like, look, I already gave your brother the birthright. He came, he tricked me. He already has it. I can't take it back now. Keep going.
And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
Like, I don't have anything else to give you. I mean, like, your brother already has the birthright. I can't take it back now. It's basically, people say what was done is done. What's done is done. Like, Jacob now has the birthright. You know what I mean? So keep going.
Verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So now Esau's he's begging for a blessing. He can't get the birthright. It's already been given to Jacob. He's just like, he's once again, he's crying and begging now. Like he always does. Like you seen in 25, he cried and he begged for the food.
Sir, just like President Vladimir Zelensky's crying and begging for America to help with money and missiles and whatnot.
That's what they do. They cry and they beg, right? But so he's crying. So he wants at least a blessing, right? That's what he wants at least. Keep going.
Verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
All right, so basically, he don't really have a place. The fatness of the earth, like, you know, I don't know if you ever look up of Edom in like the dictionaries and things like that online, it'll say that he was a nomadic tribe, which means that he didn't have a place. Like, you gotta understand that Esau brings back that spirit that Cain had. Cain was made a vagabond. I mean, he wanted, he had a place. He would never truly have a place. He would be wandering to and fro. Like, he would go somewhere, take over, and then assume that person's identity. That's what they've done. Like, if you look at Europe right now, you look at what they call the Dark Ages. That's what time when black folks ruled Europe. That's time when we were there. There was a book. I couldn't find it. I'm gonna make sure I do. Where a white Jewish man, he looked up. He wanted a white British man. So like, he wanted to know the history of the Anglo-Saxons. The farther he went back in history, he realized that white people were not the original Anglo-Saxons. The original Anglo-Saxons were black people. That's what they came to realize. So even that term that they like to use, we're Anglo-Saxons, that was stolen from black people. that was stolen from us. Again, like he don't have anything of his own. You know what I mean? You don't have Europe is not his own. So he goes into Africa, that's not his own. Like this man who make a movie, he's the last samurai. Whole country of Japan, but he's full of Japanese warriors, but he's the last samurai though. You know what I mean? Like,
what's crazy is even like the original people of Europe, because our oppressor is Esau, and they're from, like you said in the beginning of the Sabbath service, that they're from Mount Seir. That's their dwelling place, and that's their home. But they migrated into Europe and in places like Australia and things like that. And the original people of Europe were the people of Jaffa, you understand, which are now today your Pacific Islanders, your Hawaiians, Polynesians, things like that. They kicked them out of there, beat them out of there, and now they claim Europe as their home. But Europe isn't their home either. The same thing, everybody knows about Australia. White people took that place from the indigenous of Australia, which were Japhites, people of Jaffa. So even the places that they call home right now, like Europe and things like that, those things don't belong to them either. So like the scriptures say, they're vagabonds. They ain't got no home. They go wherever they can find sleep.
Yes or not?
So like, if I could, sir, just to build on what the officer said, they are vagabonds, like they're bums. If you pay attention to just what they do right now in this land that their forefathers stole, they're out here using drugs, and they choose to be homeless and use drugs perpetually because they're vagabonds. That's just how they are.
Yeah. No, I get. Listen, working security, because that's what I do. I do security. So we're working security up in Tucson. Like, I have the majority of the homeless I've dealt with, have been white people. Like, I've walked in, doing security for office complex. I went to go walk it. It's an outdoor office complex. So I'm walking it. There's water fountains out there for the people who work there, of course. There's a white man there in nothing but his drawers taking a bath. And then he's like, I can't be here? No, you can't be here. You can't be here no, you gotta leave. This is what they do. Like, what I'm saying? It's like when I'm at a stoplight in Tucson, I see right there with the I need help sign. Oh. But the majority of the time it's a white man or a white woman. But most of the time it's a white man. You know what I'm saying? It's even our people that I know that are homeless there, I don't even see them as much as I see homeless white people.
So like what shows us the difference between us and them. Our Issacharite brothers, our Mexican brothers, you don't see them brothers on the street. You don't see them, begging for money, shaking a coin, a couple, coins, and they're trying to get you to give them some money. You see them at the Home Depot waiting for work. You're gonna go to the Home Depot in your pickup truck, and you're gonna pick up one or two of the Issacharites, and they're gonna get the job done for $5 an hour. But they're gonna take it, and they're gonna do it because they're gonna work for the money, because they know that's how life works. Our president doesn't understand how life works. So they go and they beg on the sides of the corners, on the corners of the streets, just like how we see, the Bible. So it's kind of ridiculous, but it's a clear distinction, like the Most High made.
If Ken, I keep going.
Verse 40. And by the sword shalt thou live.
This is his blessing. His blessing is the sword. He will live by blood. His main thing on this earth, as his blessing, is to kill. That's it. That's what his blessing is. That's what the white man does today. He kills. That's his blessing. That's why you can't stand up against him, because his blessing is the sword. His blessing is warfare. It's why you're in the state that you're in right now. That's why we can't. That's why without the Most High's help, we can't overcome him, because we need the Most High's help. We need to be on the side. The only way you be on the side is if you follow those laws, statutes, and commandments, right? You come back, you come out of the ways of America. That's the only way you win. That's the only way you beat them, with the Most High on your side. Because if not, because he's blessed with the sword, he's going to win. He's going to beat you, right? Keep going.
And shalt serve thy brother.
There we go again. It's like 25 said. He's supposed to serve us. He's supposed to serve us, but he doesn't. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
He has dominion. Like, listen, white man, I don't know if you know, but he has dominion right now. The earth is his. The Bible says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? This is his time for rulership. This is his little bit of time in power, right? And you see, with his time in power, he has done a very, very bad job with it. The earth is damaged. I mean, the people across the world are suffering like never before. I mean, like, I ain't got no love for the Africans, but he went to Africa, cut it up between him and the other European countries, right? And so when people are certain like, oh, there's always wars in Africa. Well, you gone and forced two different people there that are against each other into the same country. So what do you expect them to do? They're going to fight. They're going to fight. Even though they're all Hamites over there, he forced these different Hamitic tribes to be in one area together. Because they don't get along, they're going to fight. There's going to be wars. He don't care as long as he gets what he wants. And that's the diamonds, the gold, the things that they use for the cell phones that they have in there, for the computers and things like that. They can kill each other all day for all he cares. He wants what's over there. And because he's blessed with the sword, they didn't stand a chance. Just then, like, look what he did with China. He had China for a little bit in the opioid epidemic. He got them over there high off of opioids until their government came together and pushed that out. Listen, that's what he does. Like he has never stepped foot anywhere does not raise a hand against those people. That's what he does. That's why he can't be trusted. He came over here. What do he do? These are nice people over here. These people over here, they're nice. They're compassionate. They make good slaves. Like, think of the mindset. Think of how evil you have to be for that to be your mindset. That your mindset is, these people are nice. I should enslave them. And he does that because he's blessed with the sword. Keep going for me, 41.
Yes, sir. Verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart.
This is in his heart. This heart. This is in his spirit. This is in his mind, and it permeates throughout his people today. Keep going.
The days of mourning for my father are at hand.
I mean, the time I've done my mourning for my father. Keep going.
Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
He's going to slay Jacob because Jacob took the birthright. Jacob didn't really take it. You sold it, but you're not a man of your word. You're still going to get to go grab that birthright. That's the characteristics of Esau. That's the characteristics of the so-called white man today. He cannot be trusted. He what the Bible says, he speaks sweet words, but in his heart was war. Like he sold his birthright off. He still feel like he should have claim to it. but you sold it. You weren't supplanted, right? That's what you thought would happen. But Jacob was taken, but at that point was rightfully his. The birthright at that point was not rightfully Jacob's because Esau sold it to him. Right? And that's what happened. You know, at this point, Rebecca saw that, right? And she said, you know what? She said, my son Jacob, leave from here. Because your brother wants to kill you now. And this is what Jacob leaves, and he goes to Laban, right? He gets his wives. So this is what led to him leaving. Besides just him leaving the wife, not only that, but Esau disrespected his parents by not getting somebody of their family. Like he had got a wife of a different nation at that. So this is how disrespectful he was to his parents, and that he would still go claim something that was no longer his to begin with. Right, and so we're gonna jump into it's like it. So we're gonna give some so I'm just gonna prove real quick on the screen. Just share the screen real quick. A visual, right? So we all know that the Esau name, his name becomes Edom, right? Because he ate, the red pottage, the uncooked meat, right? And so what you hear people say today is that Edom, I'm saying, is done away with, but that's not true. They'll have you believe that no, he's still around kicking somewhere. No, that he's been cut off, but they know that they are the inhabitants, right? They are. So you can't get Esau for me?
Yes, sir.
Right. And so the white man, he tells on himself a lot. If you let him speak, like what's the famous saying? Like if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. Because black people refuse to read because unless it's some esoteric or metaphysics, whatever else BS like that, they never open up a real book to read anything. They hate the Bible because they feel like, oh, that's the white man's book, but can't prove how it's the white man's book. Besides that, oh, they used that during slavery, even though there's a thing called the slave Bible that they used, where they took passages and they shortened, they took out certain chapters and verses to fit their narrative. You got it for me out?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. This is Esau, firstborn twin brother. Firstborn of twin brothers, Esau and Jacob, sons of Isaac and Rebekah. Genesis 25:24-25. Sold his birthright for a mess of pottage to his brother. Genesis 25:30-34. Married 2 Hittite women.
No, if you can't just give me where it says he's the figure of prophetic end times. Is that in there with Esau? Or is that with Edom?
That might be Edom, sir.
Maybe Edom. If you give me that real quick. So if you looking on the screen right now, I have up here. This is remember the name? I think it's Antipar, the Idumean. If you look him up, this is a man who's called Antipar, Idumean, the Idumean, right? When you hear Idumea, you hear anything of that word, Idumea is just the Greek or Roman word for Edom. So and what you hear about that is that Herod, right? Herod was the man who wanted to make sure that Christ wasn't born, because Herod considered himself the king of the Jews, right? But Herod was called Idumean, which means that what his father hailed from the people of Idumea means Edom. It means that they didn't go nowhere. They at this point in time they were living. They went and living in Greece and in Rome and places like that. You got it for me? All right, yeah, get that for me real quick.
This is Edom. Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as the scene of great future judgment. She is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not given any promise of mercy from God.
So this is Edom. He is somebody that's always talked about for the end times, right? And so if that's the case, if he's talked about to be somebody who's going to be a figure that's important for the end times, how then could you say that he was done away with, that he was already destroyed? Here's the thing, like, you know, those the so-called Jewish men, right? He said that this is his Bible. He's now he's now in what they call Israel today, right? But he's there in his so-called homeland. According to the Bible, like there should be any more war. He should have already went and conquered the whole earth. There should be no more warfare after that. Like people should be at this point just realize we can't beat this man. There's no point. We should pack it up and go plow some fields. But it's like that's not it. He's not the real people. He's somebody that took our identity, right? He's somebody that took our identity as for his own. And that Jewish man, like he's the son of the what's called the Amalekites, which are a tribe of Edom, right? So he took over our identity, but now he thinks that he's us. But if you're us, why are you allowing gay pride parades in your country? You know what I mean? You're supposed to be you're supposed to be the servants of the Most High. You're supposed to be His chosen people. You're supposed to follow the Torah to the T, but you're allowing such things to happen. Not only that, but war has not ended. You know what I'm saying? There is no. Where's your light at? You know, where's your salt?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like every rich Jewish man is rich because of you. The music, he owns it. He's rich because of us. Everything, like he even rich because of the slave trade. He's always rich off our backs. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he can't be the chosen people. For one, like you don't even blend in with the ancient people of Egypt. And people always say, when I say it now, like, oh, you know, people that's in Egypt right now, the people that's been there. No, you're not. Those people were moved into, I think, kicked out into Sudan. You have what's his name? Ptolemy, who went in there, right? And then came in with the rest of the so-called Ishmaelites, right? Who came in afterwards. Those are the mixed people that are in Egypt right now. They are not the real Egyptians that are over there. They're just not. One, they're not even though they're dark skinned like us, they're kind of brownish skin is different from black people and from Hamites, right? Like it's nowhere near the same. Where you can definitely tell. Like if you stand next to an Ishmaelite, you can say, you know, he's dark skinned. Oh, he's from what's the country over there, like Iraq or something. But sometimes you stand next to a Hamite, you might have to question a little bit. Might be like, I don't know if he might be one of us. So there's no way he can be the same people that was there before. Once again, it's further lies to cover up who you are. And because of these lies that he has, these lies are all forms of his hatred for us to keep you down. You can't know your past. To know your past would be to prepare and be better for your future, right? Would be to go back and do as your ancestors did, as the Bible says. The Bible tells you to seek the old ways. If you're in the ISUPK, that's what we do. We come back to this Bible here, this book right here, and we seek the old ways because these new ways ain't working. These new ways have our people destroyed, on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Abortions like 500,000, 250,000, something like that a year. Just think about that. Like let's say with the number of 500,000 in 2 years, that's a million more people that we have to our people that you can raise up to own businesses, that you can raise up to have law degrees so you can put these kind of businesses and practices in our own communities. But America has because of hatred towards us, has told our people, Nah, you should murder and kill your baby because it'll be hard for you otherwise. I saw on Facebook. I can't remember who said it. You would have been these sisters today would have been the ones that would have killed Moses and not put him in that basket. You know what I mean? Even people today they say that awareness isn't until you're being alive is until you're aware. If that's the case, a baby isn't aware for the first few months it's born.
Right.
So that's the case. Then you can abort the baby even after it's born, if you want to go by that kind of logic. But the Bible says what? No, life starts at conception. Like that's it. You have an abortion, you are killing the baby. If that's the case, then if I kill a woman while she's pregnant, let's say I'm gonna put it on me. Let's say a man kills a woman while she's pregnant. He is charged with double homicide. Right? But if a woman kills her baby, it's just her making a choice. If that's the case, the man who killed that woman should only be charged just for murdering the woman. But because this place is wicked, right? He's evil. He hates you. He's going to use the fact that she's pregnant to give you even more time in jail, right? Which might have 25 life with a possibility of parole. But now you got, because it's double homicide, you're going to take parole out. You're going to serve 2 or 3 life sentences. You know what I mean? You going to say something?
So like, if I could, sir, our people are so hard-headed that it's like it's almost like it would seem that the one way to get sisters and brothers to stop with this abortion crap would be almost like telling them you have to abort your baby. Then we're so hard-headed, we probably just never go near them.
Huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And so what we're gonna do is so I'm gonna strip on like on the screen right now. I have a picture of Antipar, the Idumean. This is what he looks like. Like don't tell me you don't see people like this walking around today. So you tell me he's gone? No, he does what he always does. He assumes another identity. That's because he's a vagabond. You know what I mean? I think I've already hammered that in enough of who he is. Right. And so we're gonna get into just some examples from the Bible, right, of his hatred towards us. So I'm gonna get into to 1 Samuel. Let me try to find it real quick. It's gonna be 1 Samuel 22. So good at 1 Samuel. So around this time I'm in the 1 Samuel in the 22nd chapter. At this time, the king at this time of Israel was Saul. And Saul was hunting down David, right? He's hunting down David because he feared to lose the throne. He didn't want to lose the power that he has. And why he's gonna lose his power? Because he failed to obey the Most High. He was told to go and destroy the Amalekites, right? Why he's supposed to destroy the Amalekites? We just Amalek, because as we were coming out of Egypt, the Amalekites tried to attack us as we were fleeing from Egypt during the Exodus. And the Most High told Moses, "Remember this day, I will wipe from the face of the earth Amalek." So the Most High, keeping his promise, told Saul, "Go and wipe out Amalek, leave none standing." But Saul disobeyed that. Saul kept people alive, and he kept the sheep and their goats, nothing like that. And Most High was fierce about that. Most High said, "You disobeyed me. The kingdom is no longer yours." But now, if he found out that the next person to take over is David, but when you're in power, you don't want to lose power. He don't want to give it up, so he wants to hunt down and kill David. Right? If you can, and at this time, David was hit by some priests over at Nob. Right? And so David, so you'll find out how Saul finds out where David was hiding because he didn't know where he was at. You cannot give me verse 8.
This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 8.
It's like verse 9.
Verse 9. Then answered Doeg the Edomite. Which
Right.
was-
So right now Saul has in his court an Edomite in his court that he has right now. Why? Because at some point he went and he fought and took over Edom. So now in this court right now he has an Edomite in his court. Keep going.
which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse come into Nob.
He's telling this. He's telling. He let him know because, hey, I saw him. I saw the son of Jesse. He was over at Nob. I saw him. He was over there. Keep going.
To Ahimelech, the son of Ahitub.
Right. And so, go ahead. Drop that real quick and go down to 18. And so, just real quick. So at this point in time, trying to check on the clock. I gotta get some more scriptures. Yeah. At this point in time, Saul gathers up the priests of Nob, right? And he's like, "Why are you conspiring against me?" And the priest says, "Has there been no better servant than David? David has no ill will." He's like, they let him know that David has no ill will towards you. He does not want to fight you, but because this man is like he knows his time is close to an end, he don't care. He wants, to kill David at any means necessary. And as a matter of fact, start at 17.
Verse 17. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him.
So these footmen, these are Israelite men that are about him. Right? He's about to tell his footmen, his soldiers, what to do. Go ahead.
Turn and slay the priests of the Lord.
Turn and slay the priests of the Lord. That's what I want you to do right now. Because they conspire against me, turn and slay the priest. Keep going.
Because their hand also is with David. And because they knew when he fled and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hands and fall upon the priests of the Lord. So his soldiers, you know what I'm saying, I guess it's a type of brotherhood. They being probably men who knew the word, they weren't going to kill priests. They weren't going to do it because, you know what I'm saying, it's something you're not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to go kill the priest of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying, you're asking for the Most High to strike you down at that point. You know what I mean? But that's what Saul ordered. You can call it an unlawful order to do. He gave them unlawful order, and they said, "No, I would not. We're not doing that." So what he do then? Go ahead. Verse 18. And the king said to Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priest.
He told this Edomite, "All right, you kill him. Doeg, you know what I'm saying? You kill the priest then." Keep going.
And Doeg the Edomite turned and fell upon the priest.
And he turned and fell upon the priest. He went and killed the priest of the Most High. Because Edom will always have a hatred for him. Like he was all too happy to let Saul know where David had fled from. He was all too happy to turn around and slay the priest. He like this is just another example, right? This is an example of his hatred towards us. Understand? And we can get Numbers 24. I'm just giving this. Let me get there with you. Sorry, right one. So yeah, he will take any opportunity that he can to slay us. He don't care. Okay, not a. What happened to all my examples? I had more examples in here because I didn't put them all down. You know what? Give me 1 second. Make sure it's the right one. Okay, yeah. So give me Numbers 20. So just showing more of how Esau takes any chance he gets to kind of come at us, even if it's not in the way of killing us, right? Like he would take every opportunity that he has. Start at a verse. At this point, Israel they're in the wilderness. They need passage through the land of Edom to get through because they're still getting away from Egypt. Go ahead and give me a verse 14.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us. Right.
So this is what Moses told the messengers say to the Edomites, right? Hey, you we're brothers, right? Our fathers were brothers. You know that we've been for the last 400 years, 400 odd some years, slaves in Egypt. Know that we just got out of there. Keep going.
Verse 15. How our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy borders.
Right. So that's where they are at the time. They're at Kadesh. They want to get by. Kadesh is a city over there in Edom, and they just want passage. Like, keep going.
Verse 17. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country.
Like let us go through. We just need to get through real quick. We ain't trying to harm nobody, nothing like that. We just need to get through to the other side. Keep going.
We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword.
So that's what he said. So they asked for passage. He says, no, you can't come through here. Try it, and we're going to kill you. try to come through our land, and we'll hunt you down. We're going to take our swords. We're going to come at you. Once again, this is a biblical example of their hatred towards us. Like, in their hearts, in their minds, if someone don't realize it consciously, they hate us because of who they are, because of who their forefather is. They hate us because they felt like they are supposed to have the covenant, right? They're supposed to have the birthright, right? They're supposed to be in Jacob's position. And their forefathers felt tricked, and that hatred of his, it went down into his people. At the point that, like, any chance they get, they hamper us. Like right here, they won't allow passage. They refused. Try it, and we'll kill you. Right? And with today's examples, you know what I mean? Just you can go off today's examples about how they do us. Look at Tavon Martin. You know what I mean? Tavon Martin, Alton Sterling. What's the brother that got name of the brother that Castillo, Flando Castillo, who told the officer, I have a gun license to carry. And before he can get a chance to reach for his wallet, he was shot because the cop felt scared. But if you look right, the other cop he was fine. He heard the exact same thing that the other cop heard. So when he shot, if you look at that video, he was confused about what was going on. But that cop used the opportunity to murder one of us because of their perpetual hatred against us. Like everything they give you, just about is their hatred towards you. Like because they'll never love you. They'll never be equal with you. They never love you. They can't have you over them. Right? Give me the it's like I'm gonna think it's in the Apocrypha where I saw servants on I saw princes on footback and servants on horses. Is it Ecclesiastes?
No, it might be. I'm just also.
I think it's Ecclesiastes or Second Esdras. Yeah, we can get that real quick. That's another example of how the order of the word is supposed to be. We're not supposed to be serving them. They're supposed to be serving us. But right now it's supposed to be a time where we're supposed to, you know what I mean, we're supposed to be in rulership and in power, because we disobeyed. We then have to serve our older brother, the Edomites. That's why the Most High made a difference, because that's why Most High put a difference between us, because he knew that this man that he was making, he's only here for one thing and one thing only. Got it for me? Go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby.
Right. So that's right there is basically the gist of it, right? Is that it's like, so if you look at a picture, right? There's a picture that you can find where you see the white man on a horse, and you see a black man being marched next to him on foot. That's a real life example of what that verse said about servants being on horses and the princes being on foot. It's supposed to be that way.
This one, they brothers is dead. It's the same.
So if you I don't know if y'all can see that, but if you can see that, that's the same master on horses. That's our people dead right there. Just to give an example of that, right? This is the position that we're in. This is why he said our calamity was at an end. He should have stopped. He should have stopped a long time ago. He should have stopped a long time ago, but he didn't. Right, and if I can, I got one more spot I want to go to before I kind of get the last couple of scriptures in. Let me see, just to make sure. Is that a point where? Okay, yeah. Let me get back to Genesis 32. All right, and if you can also hold Obadiah as well. Not Obadiah, Obadiah. You can't give me a 32 in verse 3.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom.
Right. So this is just to supplant to you further that this is where this man dwelt at. He dwelt in Mount Seir, at Seir. If you look at what that is today, that is the land of Jordan, right? That's what the land is called now. It's called Jordan, and in Jordan is Mount Seir, right? So these people ain't going nowhere. Esau, this is where he settled at. This is where his people dwell at. This is where they come from. So whenever you hear he said them say set your face toward Mount Seir, always know he's talking about Edom. He's talking about Esau. He's talking about Idumea, whichever name, right, that he choose to call. Just know that it's always about the so-called white man, because that's who he is. Even though he changed his name today, what we call him today, Caucasians, right? That's just another way to hide who he is, right? Calling themselves American today. It's another name to hide who he is. Mount Seir is where the dwelling started at. Right, and every time you hear that, just always know that is talking about the so-called white man. If you can, go and get me to Obadiah. And so that real quick was just just some examples of his hatred towards us. Just about how he feels. Give me a second to get there too. Right. And so because of that, right, for India, I'm just get a couple scriptures just showing his reward, right, as Ezekiel 35 stated, not stated, but his reward for being evil towards, for having a perpetual hatred towards us. If you like, oh, let me give one example of why we know who he is. Give me verse 3. First, start at verse 1.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Yeah, that's you can jump down to verse 3.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
That's how they lived over in Mount Seir. They dwelt in the clefts of the mountains. They dwelt in caves. That's why when you hear cave dwellers, that don't apply to anybody else besides Esau, besides so-called white man. He's the only one that calls himself a caveman. Nobody else on the earth calls himself that besides him. You see right here, like he dwelt in the clefts of the rock. He like in the clefts of the rock. That's what we call a cave today. That's where he was living. Keep going.
Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou,
Yeah, keep going.
though thou, verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Ooh, there you go, right there. Undeniable, right there. That this so-called white man, that what's the company's Fuck it. What's the country's symbol? Isn't it an eagle? They just said that even though he exalts himself as the eagle, this the Bible is showing you the markers, the signs of who he is today, who he will be, right? This how you know. You go to the Bible, and you read it, you get somebody to break it down for you, who each nation is in the Bible. This right here, as the eagle, this is him. No, this is the most I let you know that this is how he sees himself. You know what I'm saying? If you read in I think it's Deuteronomy, which says like he came down as swift as an eagle. This will always be the example of what you need, or the sign what you need who the white man is. He is the eagle. That's him. That's the so-called white man today. That's who he is. That's his representation, his mark, his sign in the Bible. He's a quill. He's a cave. He's a cave dweller, and he exalts himself as the eagle. Keep going.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Right. So that's what he's gonna do, because he thinks he's too high to be brought down. Right. He's set up among the stars. The stars being us. You know what I mean? Like the stars being like these other nations. Like he has a person in every nation. Like he's like even though, like, for example, Japan, right? Yeah, like the white man has a military naval base in Japan. He has a naval port in China. He has naval ports in the Middle East, in Africa, at Australia, South America, wherever. He has put himself across this whole entire earth. He feels like can't nobody take him down. Like he's just that. You feel like he's just that powerful right now. You can't go ahead and drop that. Give me down to verse 10.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This
is his reward for his perpetual hatred against us. His reward is to be cut off forever. You know what I'm saying? If I can, give me verse 13.
Verse 13. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity.
He should have left us alone. He should have left us alone. He should never put a single foot towards us, right? That's the most I just told you. You should have left my people alone in the day of their calamity. Keep going.
Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
The most I said, he should have left us alone a long time ago, right? He should never came to us. Should never put his hands on us, right? He should have just minded his business. He should have kept about himself. But because he hates us, he would never not find a way to get to us. You give me Romans 9. I'm gonna get a couple more in real quick. Give me 9 and 13.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
The Most High hates Esau. Right? We'll get into it in a minute where he says that at, right? I might go a little bit over. So we'll get into it where he says that at, where he says that where he says that he hates Esau. But right here, the Most High says he hates Esau, but he loves Jacob. Keep going.
Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid.
No, it's like John, give me 17.
Verse 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up.
Now, the Most High have raised up America. Make no mistake, he's raised up America the same way he raised up the pharaohs of Egypt and made Egypt a great country because of our bondage to them. The same thing here. He has raised up this country because of our bondage here. It is this so-called the greatest country on the planet, right? But why is that? Why did he raise them up? Go ahead.
That I might show my power in thee.
So he can show his power. He can show that he can. No matter how powerful you think you are, Most High is going to show you who really runs this earth. Continue.
And that my name might be declared throughout all the earth.
Right. So his name might be declared throughout the whole earth. Right. That's the whole point of them. Right. The whole point of America is to be raised up so it can be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Let it be known that Esau is the vessel. It's the vessel that's supposed to be destroyed. Right. But we're the vessel of honor. We're supposed to be high on this earth. Can give me to Malachi 1. Let's show you where it says where it's written at. Whenever you got it. Huh? Well, you know it?
This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, yet I love Jacob.
Right. So this is the most I let Israel know, like, I've always loved you. But Israel, we haven't always loved the Most High. I know we haven't always loved him because we have gone against his words over and over again. We've gone against command. We've followed these false gods over and over. That's not love, man. That's showing our hatred towards him. But he loved us, and he's saying right here like he loved us, even though Esau was our brother. Keep going. Keep going. Start in the middle of verse 2.
Middle of verse 2. Was not Esau Jacob's brother? saith the Lord, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
Right. This is where Romans 9:3 gets it from. He hated Esau. I remember in Romans 9, like even before they were even born, the Most High had already made Esau to be hated, to show his love for us. He is the vessel of dishonor, and we are the vessel of honor. Right? And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way you're supposed. That's what you should always think of it. The Most High love you enough to always come to your side and your aid when you need it, to destroy your enemies. And this Edomite, this is your biggest enemy on this planet, right? Don't get it twisted. Like, no, your enemy is still the Hamites, the Ishmaelites, Ammon, whoever else, everyone else on this planet. It's still your enemies, but your biggest one, the one that has you in oppression right now, who lets you be a prey to the rest of these beasts. And that's the Most High describes them as beasts, as nothing. That's what they are. They are nothing to the Most High. They are beasts to Him, and the white man has let you become prey to them because you disobeyed, because they came in and they took over. Now look your neighborhood. What you seeing there? Arab stores, Asian stores. You know what I'm saying? They won't hire you. It's hard for you to get a business license. I'm saying you can't build up your own community, but they can come in your community and build theirs up off of your money, right? Off your sweat and blood. That's what they can do. That's what they are allowed to do. That's another hatred towards them to let everybody else feed off your carcass, because the black man is destroyed in here. The black woman is destroyed in this planet, in this planet, but in this country, we've been destroyed, beaten down to a point where we fight each other. You see on these apps all the time. In a little bit, you see on this planet on this planet. You see on social media all the time. The black man ain't nothing. The black woman ain't nothing. The black man is just the white man in the black community. You know what I'm saying? It's dumb things like that. Oh, I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself. I'm an independent woman. You got to people where our women are happy to be called so-called independent, who say openly, we don't need our man. And our men are all too willing to go and be with a different race of women, especially a white woman. I don't know if y'all saw LeBron James' son took a white girl to prom. Now you would figure, growing up 18 years, all you see is your black dad with your black mom, but you take a white girl to prom. Saying what was the respect for your father there? And that's just more just this place hammering down on you that hates you. That you are hated here. What did Zephaniah say? Gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Nobody is more undesired than we are, because everybody hates us, especially the so-called white man. His hatred for us is everlasting. It will never go away until the Most High comes down here and makes some dust like the Most High said. If you can, but there is good news for us at the end of the day, right? The ultimate reward that you have waiting for you. If you make your lesson short, if you get into the UPK, you study, you get up, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Give me Isaiah 14. That's it. It's like I forgot where it's at. But you have your reward waiting for you. A reward that that's better than the money that's better than the money that you can get today. Because I don't know if you know, the dollar is losing value. Dollar is losing value so much so that they had to make sure that they went to the Middle East and make sure that they couldn't switch from to a different currency. They had to go to Venezuela and make sure that they can't just use cryptocurrency and say they owe it to whoever. That's how much the value of the dollar has fallen over the last few years. Right? And if you continue to come here and you serve the Lord and you separate yourself from them, but know that they hate you, you'll always be prepared you'll never be surprised at what they do. Saying people are always surprised by them going and shooting us. White man is such a beast. He kills his own people for no reason. There was a couple years ago. There was at a country music festival. A white man from the hotel room shot and killed people at the country music festival. Now, if I'm not wrong, like country music ain't that type of raw music, right? If I'm correct on that. So got people down there enjoying music, and somebody, because he's a beast, he decides that he needs to kill somebody. Well, there's no black people in sight, so I'll just kill some fellow white folks. And then I think he might have killed himself. Once again, showing the white man is a coward. A white man will kill a bunch of people, then off himself to not have to face judgment for what he done. Not knowing that, you're going to come back. You're going to face that judgment. Like, you didn't get off scotch-free. You can go and get the for me if you got it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right. This is what's coming. This is a end time prophecy. This is what's to come. This prophecy, where the Most High is going to come back for Jacob. He's going to choose Israel, right? And then we're going to be given our own land, which you all know is what they call Israel over today. Israel, Palestine, all that over there. That's ours. It don't belong to none of them. And we're going to get all that back because the Most High is going to set us back over there. It's going to be our land where our people, where our kids can go out and be safe. Our kids can, don't have to worry about being shot down. Where I don't know if anybody saw that video of the little black kid. He's playing basketball outside, sees a cop car and hides behind the car. Just how traumatized did that child to be to see a cop car? His first thought is, let me hide. He's not doing anything besides playing basketball in his own driveway. That's right. That's the type of hatred that they put on us, where our children see that and they hide. Where we don't have people that have to tell our children how to talk to police officers and make it out alive, and still not make it out alive. We're taught, just follow orders, and are still shot. So that can't be it. There was a black man who worked as a nurse for a care home, right? For disabled people. And one of his people went out to the middle of the streets. He went to go get him. The police were called. They came out. They told the black man, "Get on the ground. Put your hands up." He did what he was told, and he shot him in the leg. And he asked, "Why did you shoot me?" "I did what you said." The cop said, "I don't know." He didn't know. He complied to every word that he said, and he was still shot. Granted, the brother survived, but what was the person for shooting at that point? White people tell us all the time, "Oh, just comply, do what you're told." You do what you're told, and then you're still shot and killed. Because that deep down, he needed to shoot a black man. He needed to. His hatred was boiling over. He must have shot a black man in about a minute. He must have roughed nobody up in a while. People have been too good. He needs to shoot somebody. And so his trigger finger got a little bit too itchy, and he fired. And don't even know. He said he don't know why. He knew why, because he hated him. He hated something that he hated. He even hated that he complied to everything that he said to do. That's a deep hatred. That's a deep hatred that you have for somebody where you still would shoot even though they listen to what you said. How does that make sense? Now you can go and show these type of examples to white people all across this country, and they'll still find excuses for it. They'll still find an excuse for the hate. They'll still be like, "Well, it's not. It's just that one cop." there's a few bad apples. But you know what? There's just a few bad apples on that tree. You should cut the whole tree down. That tree ain't producing good fruit. If so many bad apples keep falling from this one tree. That's what needs to happen. Cut the tree down. But of course, they'll continue with It's not all white people, but if it had been a black man that went to a white neighborhood and shot 2 white people, the black people are out of control. Black people are out of control. They are terrorists. This and that. They would have been the whole black community for it. But white people don't want to take the blame for this. They want to say, "Oh, he was wrong. He was crazy. No, what? What's it say? He's just a kid." They said his brain wasn't fully developed. Then to go after that and then plead not guilty at the video showing you going and doing the murder. How can you then go before a judge and say I'm not guilty by reason of insanity? But you weren't insane when you wrote an 80-page manifesto describing how much you hate black people, called us replacers, and said that that you even stalked the place out for several months. That you would make 2.5, 3-hour road trips to this place. That's why he has to be destroyed at the end of the day, right? That's why he needs to be done away with. Con says, yeah, he is. I mean, it's the goddamn devil. Like I'm over time. You can't give me a verse 2.
Yes, sir.
It's like we do the last. We end it with this. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Right. So this will be their place to serve us at the end of the day. The way, like I said, it was said earlier, that the older shall serve the younger. At this time, in this prophecy, when it comes to pass, we will be on top, and they will serve us. The whole world is going to serve you. The whole world will be your servants. The whole world was going to be your possession. You're going to have the Hamites, the Moabites, whoever else as servants. But this white man right here, keep going.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that the
it's like you can come right there. Like they said, they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. Where else echoes this in Revelations? I believe it's 13. He who leads us into captivity shall go into captivity. Right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. There is no ifs, ands, or maybes with the Most High.
Right.
There is no you know what? I didn't kill any black people. I was a good person. It don't matter. It don't matter at the end of the day. You will be judged as a nation, just as we were judged as a nation. Yes or not?
So I could, sir. To build on your point, they always do that thing where when you let them know how terrible their forefathers were, they try to disassociate themselves, and they'll always say the same thing, like you can't judge an entire group of people by just a few bad people. And in reality, it's like, well, you did. Your entire race enslaved our entire race. The old, the young, the rich, the poor, the crooked, the righteous, the man, the woman, the child. It doesn't matter. So it's like and that's how evil and wicked they are. History and current events says that they are the biggest hazard to black people on the face of the planet, and they still see that they're more righteous than we are. They're more civilized than we are as well.
Not only that, but the government, the U.S. government itself said the biggest threat to them is white domestic terrorism. The U.S. government said to themselves that is the biggest threat to the country, And we all saw it right last year. Was it last year, right? With the with the January 6th or the 2 years ago. You know, when they went and stormed the White House. We all saw it. They know it. We know it. And here we know it, but our people outside still don't know it. They're still blinded, you know, by America. They're still sleeping. And we got to keep on with this fight to wake them up. Right? I'm gonna just read it myself real quick. But in verse 21, it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers." So to kind of go what the brother said, it don't matter that you weren't there.
Right.
Your fathers were.
Right.
And most I said, you gotta pay for the iniquity of your fathers. Somebody has to, because you're still benefiting off their actions. Right? That they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. This, at the end of the day, this is it. This is where they'll be at. They won't be allowed to possess land. They won't be allowed to have cities, because we see what they do when they have the ability to do so. Right. Not only do they destroy the earth, they destroy everybody else around them, and they add confusion into the earth. This why they must pay. This why they must, like the most I said, be led captives, because they let us into captivity. It's only right and fair. It's why they can't be in rulership, because they're evil and they're wicked. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I had a verse here, but I can't find it. But it says that, you know, wicked, like you have to expect the wickedness from the wicked, right? And with that, I'm in the class. Once again, we are the ISUPK at 125th Street, 1 West Hall, New York, on the Community Junior Hana. You see on the video, see our classes Tuesday through Fridays, 7 to 9. Got like today on Saturdays we have our Sabbath service from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Even though I went off a little bit more. You know, we're off of 28th and Cactus. You'll see the ISPK sign right out there in big bold letters. All right. So just for right now, Brother Amajum. So we're going to start with the Lord's Prayer. So Amajum, Wapanya Hakadam, you stand and face the east. I'm going to start with the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Sabashemaya, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Blafaka, Taba'a, Watazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayu, Nathanyanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakinawa, Kabawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathinawa, Wala'a, Taba'ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashayanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, Wa'awalun. So it's like Wa'awalun. Aman. So the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right, have the Akak, the power in Hebrew. Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai. Baba Kashai. Nathanyanawa. Akak. Rapa'ah. Call. Wakal. Madawa. Akak. Latahar. Mahamata Zaraya,
Amata Zaraya,
Akat,
Akak,
Lahakoyam,
Ahakoyam,
Hamathyan,
Hamathya,
Hakat,
Akak,
Arukarwa,
Awakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Hatama'ala,
Nagarashan,
Lagarshan,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahushai,
Dawada Aman.
Wadaman,
All right, the power in English, Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
in the name of Yahushai,
please give us the power.
please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness,
The power to heal all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease.
and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahushai.
thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
All right, Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah,
Asha'ah,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahaharyam,
Ahahari,
Mahayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Isaiah,
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 Ma'ain,
Ma'ain,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shemayim,
Shemaiah,
Wa'aratazah,
Wa'aratazah,
Al-Yathan,
Al-Yathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Ragalka,
Regalka,
Al,
Al,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Haya, Anah,
Hayah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashan,
Yayashun,
Shawamar,
Shawamar,
Yashrala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yumyaka,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Bala,
Bala,
Yalah,
Yalah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamar,
Makal Rai,
Makal Rai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Atnapaska,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza Afkan,
Taza'at,
Baba,
Wabah,
Wa'aka,
Wa'aka,
Ma'aitha,
Ma'aika,
Wa'ai,
Wa'ai,
I will love.
I will love.
Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help coming from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in
from this time forth,
from this time forth
even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
Psalms 83 in Hebrew. Alahayim,
Allahayim,
Al Damayah,
Al-Damayah,
Lakah,
Lakah,
Al Thakarash,
Al-Takarash,
Wa'al,
Wa'al,
Lashakwat,
Tashakwat,
Al,
Al,
Kayat,
Kayat,
Adna,
Anat,
Al Yabika,
Al-Yabika,
Yahama,
Yahaman,
Yawan,
Yawan,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al Imaka,
Al-Amuka,
Ya'ai,
Ya'ai,
Wayumwa,
Wayumwa,
Sawada,
Tawadah,
Wa'aita,
Wa'aita,
Swaki, Wayatha,
Wapayata,
that's Aitazawa,
Ya'aisazawa,
Al,
Ah,
Tazbawanyaka,
Tazapawanyaka,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Lakawa,
Lakawa,
Wayakakidam,
Wanakakidam,
Magalia,
Magalia,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yazakar,
Yazakar,
Sham Yashala,
Sham Yasha'ala,
Awada,
Awudah,
Kaya,
Kayat,
Nawa Aitazawa,
Nawa Aisazawa,
Laba,
Laba,
Dekatwa,
Yakatwa,
Alyaka,
Alika,
Baryat,
Baryat,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarathwa,
Ahaya,
Ahaliya,
Awadan,
Awadam,
Wa'ashma Alia,
Wayashma Ali,
Mawa'aba,
Mawa'aba,
Wahagaryam,
Wakari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Wa'imawan,
Wa'imawan,
Wa'imalat,
Wa'imalat,
Palashat,
Palashat,
I'm Yeshabia,
Yeshabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gum Ashawar,
Gam Ashawar,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Zarawai,
Zarwai,
Labunya,
Labanya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kamadyan,
Kamadi,
Kasayat,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayabya,
Banakar,
Banakal,
Koyashwan,
Koyashwan,
Nashamatwa,
Nashamatwa,
Ba'yan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Dara,
Yahweh, I mean, it's like Hawaya,
Hawya,
Daman,
Daman,
Adama,
the Adam,
Sheratamwa,
Shaytamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yapawa,
Ka'arab,
Kara,
Wakata Za'aba,
Ukazazab,
Wakata Zabak,
Ukazazabak,
Wakata Zar,
Ukazazor,
Mana'ai,
Banai,
Ka,
Call,
Nasaya,
Nasaya,
Kamwa,
Kamwa,
Ashar,
Nashar,
Amarwa,
Amaru,
Naya,
Nayat,
Ra'ash,
Yash,
Rashad, it's like Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath,
Ah,
Na'awath,
Nawa,
Alahayim,
Alahaya,
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 Shayatamwa,
Shaytamwa,
Kagagala,
Kagala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Rapunya,
Lapanya,
Rakar,
Kaka,
Tharadotman,
Aradama,
it's like Ka'ash,
Kaash,
Tabaira,
Tabaira,
Yaira,
Yaira,
well, Kalahaba,
Kalahaba,
Tahalat,
Tahalat,
it's like Aharium,
Ahari,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadotman,
Taradama,
Basa Irika,
Basa Irika,
Babasa,
Wabasa,
Wapatka,
Wapaka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kwalawan,
Kalawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakoshwa,
Bakwashwa,
Shemka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahau,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kaparu,
Waya,
Waya,
Ibatwa,
Abat,
Waya,
Waya,
the Iwa,
Gaiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Shemka,
Shamka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Labatwa, I mean, it's like Labaka,
Labadka,
Ayawan,
Al-Yawan,
Al-Kar,
Al-Kal,
Ha'aratazah.
Al-Rat.
Psalm 83 in English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace,
and be not still, O Yahweh.
and be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
From lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make the tumble,
and they that hate thee
and they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation,
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
that the name of Israel
that the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted
For they have consulted
together with one consent.
together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee,
The tabernacles of Edom
the tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Israelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashur also joined with them.
Assur also is joined with
They
them.
have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
La'ah,
Salah,
that's a Lot. Do unto them
do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kasan,
at the brook of Kasan,
which perished at Endor.
which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became a scum for the earth.
Made their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zeed,
and like the egg.
yea,
Yea,
of the princes of Zabah,
all their princes as Zebah,
and as Zamunah,
and as Almunah,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves
let us take to ourselves
the houses of Yahweh
the houses of Yahweh
in possession.
in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stumble before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the flame set the mountains on
and
fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy temper,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded and troubled forever.
let them be confounded in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is Yahweh,
is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth.
All right, the blessings in the Hebrew, Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Yahweh Shai,
Wa Maka Allah,
Wa Ma'aka
Wa
Allah,
Ha'alim,
Wa Lahayim,
Matazab Ya'ah,
Wa Tazabiyah,
Allah Wap Yahana,
Allah Wap Yahan,
Allah Wapyam,
Allah Wap Yah,
Hasaranyam,
Asaranyam,
Hakatazayan, Katazayanyam, Hakakayayam,
Hakaya Yalyam,
Wa Akwathim,
Wa Hakwathyam,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashem Yahweh Shai,
Bashem Yahweh Shai,
Dawada Aman.
Wa Aman.
We got the blessing in English. Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh.
and Yahweh Shai,
And Yahweh Shai.
and Michael,
And Michael.
and the angels,
And the angels.
commanding General Yohana,
Commanding General Yohana.
the generals,
The general.
the captains,
The captain.
the officers,
The officer.
the troopers,
The trooper.
and the sisters,
And the sisters.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh Shai,
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
thank you, so be it.
Thank you. So be it.
All right, you shove me, everybody can be seated. Salute. Anybody want to be anointed? Blessed? Like, good? Sister, you want to bless the sister?
No, he said yeah.
You say yeah? Oh, it's like.
You received it.
All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do blessing. The Baraka, the Baraka, Yahweh, White Shamarka, Yahar, Yahweh, Pan Yawah, Yaka, Waya, Wayakanka, Yasha, Yahweh, Pan Yawah, Yaka, Wayasham Laka, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rafa'ah, Magun, Hagun,
Parak.
Parak,
Parak.
Parak,
Parak.
Parak,
Kabatamat.
Kabatamat,
Kabatamat.
Kabatamat,
Kabatamat.
Kabatamat, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Dwadamat. All right, so in English, Yahweh, bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh, make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh, lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, protect, Parak, and Wakabatamat. All right. Sister, you want to bless the sister? Right, the Baraka, Yahweh, Washamarka, Ya'ar, Yahweh, Pan Yawah, Yaka, Wayakanka, Yasha'ah, Yahweh, Pan Yawah, Yaka, Washalam Naka, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Rafa'ah, Magun, Hagun,
Rayana,
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 Rayana.
Rayana, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Dwada Aman. And we said once again, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect.
Rayana.
Rayana. All right. Good. All right. Let me get first salute. Right. All right. So, just brothers, Amaju, give throughout the class. All right, brothers, Amaju, Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Thumb. Turn the face to sister. Sister can stand. All right, brothers, Amaju, Shabbat, Amaju, Barak, Yahweh, Shamar, Elatham, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shamar, Elatham, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai.
All right, Nadi Matai, class dismissed. Sorry. Oh, fine.